I'm Andrew, and I'm going to show you how I gave new life to this teeny tiny hatchet. I was at a flea market recently and I found this tiny hatchet. It's just 4 inches long from front to back and the blade's only about 2 inches wide. I decided I wanted to clean it up and save it. I started out over on my brass wire wheel just to knock off some of the rust. The pitting on this was not too bad here. Next, I hit it with a 36 grit flap disc on my angle grinder. Then I cleaned it up with a random orbit sander and polished it with my buffing wheel and had it looking good. The handle I made out of a hardwood scrap. Based on the color alone, I'm guessing that this is cherry, but I'm not entirely sure. I started trying to get it into shape with a cheap block plane. I had a hard time tracing that tiny eye, so I tapped it with a hammer and that gave me a good outline to work with. A saw and a chisel took away most of the material here, and then I started the tedious work of kind of tweaking it so I could get a good fit, carving it down with a chisel. With that done, I could go back and finish shaping the handle. Because the hatchet head is so tiny, I didn't have a lot of material to work with there, so I cut the slit with a hacksaw because it has a very thin kerf to the blade. I got it seated, tapped in a wedge, then cleaned up the top with a chisel and locked it in place with some super glue. Boiled linseed oil on the handle and I had this thing looking pretty good. And this thing is so small and lightweight, it's not really good for much except maybe as a pencil sharpener. I'm really digging the way this turned out. I like the shine that I was able to bring up on this rusty old piece. Again, it's probably not good for much other than maybe sharpening pencils or cutting your sandwich in half at lunch. But it's a good place to start with doing a project like this because it's all the same principles and ideas that you would use on restoring something a lot bigger, but it's at a very tiny scale and easy to manage. I want to say thanks for watching. If this is your first time here, please take the time to click the subscribe button. If you like what I'm up to here, give me a thumbs up, and if you've got any questions I can answer, throw me a comment down below. I do all kinds of goofy stuff here, and I try to share it with people to inspire people to take on projects of their own. I think one of the most important things we can do as creative people, as makers, is to help make more makers. Again, thanks for watching. Hold me closer, tiny hatchet.